Oh man, Alex, how are you doing tonight, bud?
I actually unmuted on time today.
You did actually. For once, it almost looked like we knew what we were doing. Spoiler
Again,
alert: we
modesty
don't.
time.
Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But
Improv.
so, first of all, Austin Danny underscore 3756 VTuber VTuber Liliana07 and Caitlin underscore 0. Thank you for following us while we were doing our intro. Um, I appreciate. He appreciates. Um, but yeah, so obviously, as you know, I typically start every week off running us down what we're going to do today, and then ranting about something irrelevant to what we're going to do today. So we're going to start with uh, what how today's going to go. We'll talk about our obscure Astros and Rangers lineups. Alex will have his take on is Aaron Rodgers, or as we like to call him, Ron Rodgers, um, the key to the Steelers actually being good this year. Uh, and then I'm going to talk about with about a week of NHL, the 26th, the extended trial, how it's been, how I feel it's gone, and how I'm looking for what I'm looking forward to this year. And then of course we'll wrap the show up with me guessing this week the NEWMAC women's basketball. And as you saw in the title, Alex let me know before the show, it'll be the 2006-2007 NEWMAC, which is a D3 conference in New England. Does that about summarize what we're going to do today, bud?
Just about.
Just about. So, you commented on this shirt before we went live this evening. Obviously, you have your Commander's shirt on because support the boys who support the boys. We obviously have a mutual friend that works within that organization, so of course we're gonna hang out and watch the game tonight, playing Spot Our Friend, because that's what adults do.
Per tradition.
Per tradition that we started when he was still in the IFL. We'd watch those games and we'd play Spot Him while our team was traveling. So, of course, we keep that tradition alive and well.
Usually he's in the same three places the whole time.
Yeah, it was a much easier game in the arena football world, but that's neither here nor there. But so
But it's everywhere.
Fair. So I'm a big fan of minor league sports, as you know, and I'm also a big fan of just like cool and unique merch. So a couple years ago, the Iowa Wild did a Star Wars night, and they were selling T-shirts. They rebranded as the Iowa Wookiees. I bought the T-shirt. This T-shirt, this Lederhosen T-shirt, was on sale for $3, and it was in fact less than shipping was gonna be, and it put me over the threshold for free shipping. So I bought this shirt on clearance and my Iowa Wookiee shirt for less than I would have if I just bought the Iowa Wookiee shirt. And I'm a sucker for good merch. I think Lederhosen shirt is just kind of cool. I'd never really seen that. And having moved to Cincinnati, which is a very German city, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. That'd be a cool thing to have. And then, of course, I'm a huge Star Wars guy, so when teams do good Star Wars merch, I lots of times look at it, and if I have the extra funds at the time, I do buy it. I buy a lot of it. And they got me good with that, and that's why I love working in minor league sports too, because you get to see these, like, you can bring these unique, cool promotions. You can be like, hey, like, I saw this team did this, and want to know how I know they did this? Because I literally own the merch from it. And then we get to have those conversations of, is it a good idea for us? So that's one of the cooler things about the minor leagues, in my opinion. I wish we had done cool stuff at the arena team. I think we had so many opportunities to have just like insane merch, and I think we just didn't invest the way we should have at the time when we were there.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, that is all water under the bridge. And I think we'll get right into your
What's
obscure
crazy
team.
before we do that is next time you go to Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go out to the left center field bleachers at Coors. They had $5 T-shirts just to clear inventory because they have so many obscure players in there.
So you got me one, right?
No, because I was on a budget at the time.
So,
And look, it's fine. We'll go to Colorado together next time.
we will. I haven't been to Colorado in 12 years. The last time I was in Colorado was 12 years ago. I went to when I was in Scouts. We went to Philmont, and so what we toured in Colorado, in the Denver area, and Colorado Springs area, for about a week before. So in the summer of 2013, I stayed at the University of Colorado Springs for about a week, and then we toured around. So we drove right by Coors, right by Mile High. At the time, it was Sports Authority Field, or yeah, Sports Authority Field at Mile High Stadium, I think is what it was at the time. But yeah, Sports Authority still existed.
Was it Invesco after that, or is it before? Because the orders either or on that, I think.
I don't remember. I've always called it Sports Authority Field because that's what I remember it as. And then of course when I drove by it, it was that. We can ask the Google machines at some point, but
I'm actually doing that right now.
That's
right. I was right. Okay, so it is so Invesco at Mile High was 2001 to 2010.
Okay, and then Sports Authority would have been
Sports Authority. Then it was just Bronco Stadium at Mile High. Now it's Empower, which it is now.
Yeah. But I remember it being Sports Authority, and it was really funny seeing the Sports Authority logo because at the time, obviously, they were still very much competitive with Dick's Sporting Goods. But like all things, eventually one faltered, and it was Sports Authority. I liked Sports Authority, actually. Like, I thought it was a good store. I bought a lot of my clothes and sports equipment there.
You have a problem with Dick's?
No, I don't have a problem, but honestly, I will tell you, Sports Authority and Olympia Sports, both of those stores were closer to my mom's house than a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
So it was a convenience thing.
Convenience factor.
Which is funny, right? The two stores I shopped at, for the most part, for my sporting equipment as a child, and even into my high school years, neither of them exist anymore. So I guess it doesn't bode well for Dick's because that's where I buy my sporting goods now. And apparently I just have a shitty track record of picking my store. In 10 years, we'll look back at this, the VOD that winds up on YouTube, and we'll be like, he called it. He called it. And it'll be the worst. It'll be the absolute worst. But since you had pick, you will go first. Oh, shit, I have to pull up the wheel.
The magical wheel?
The actual wheel for when we assign ourselves the next one. Let's see. The nice thing is I only have to delete one entry at a time because it's smart and it remembers the entries that we have already deleted. Perfect. And whenever you're ready, Alex, lead off with your Houston Astros / Houston Colt 45.
All right. So I'm going to start things off with a recurring favorite on this series is Randy Johnson as my starting pitcher, followed by Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate, with noted Yankee manager Aaron Boone at first base, with Mark Loretta at second, Vinny Castilla at third. Shortstop was a spot, I will admit, on this time around that kind of tripped me up because I was kind of looking around and I just couldn't find anyone. Then I decided on Julio Lugo just because I remember him somewhere else.
I won't lie, I didn't know he played for the Astros, so that was a pretty great pull for obscure players for the Astros, as in names we kind of know, but places we didn't know.
And then noted baseball player Rick Ankiel will be playing left field for me in those Crawford boxes, with Darren Erstad of the Angels fame in center, with Kenny Lofton in right. And then Bob Abreu, you might know him on a couple other teams like the Phillies, as my DH. Now my bullpen will round out with John Franco, Jay Happ, and noted Houston Colt 45 thrower Don Larson.
I'm glad that you fit at least one guy from the previous franchise. I think that's always kind of our sub theme that we go for. Is we try to find a dude that like was on the team, but potentially older on the team, maybe in a previous franchise. So obviously, I have the Texas Rangers again. This is all-time obscure Texas Rangers. So the goal is you should know every name or be relatively familiar with every name, but you don't necessarily remember them at this stop. This isn't like the highlight of their career. So a lot of times, as you used Randy Johnson for the Astros, you think of Randy Johnson, at least for me, I think of the Mariners, I think of the Yankees, I think of the Diamondbacks, not necessarily in that order. But you don't think about the Montreal Expo Randy Johnson as much, or San Francisco Giant Randy Johnson. Those aren't the Randy Johnson you think of. You know the name Randy Johnson, you just don't think of him on those teams.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think I picked a really good team. There's a couple names on this team, this Rangers team for me, that I was like, oh, I didn't know they. A, I didn't know they were Rangers, and B, that's a name I hadn't heard in so long. Not necessarily elite talent, but a name I hadn't heard. And actually, there's at least one guy that hasn't been used yet in this series. That just had a great name, and the fact that we don't use him more is atrocious. If you want me to be completely honest.
Did you use the said name? Or
I did. You'll know it as soon as I say it. So
there's a couple I think that I could go with that.
Yeah, I'll have you guess who I'm talking about on this. So my starting pitcher for my all-time obscure Texas Rangers / Washington Nationals / like 10 other teams it looked like when I looked at the histories is Gaylord Perry. At catcher, I have Doug Marabelli. At first base, I have Greg Zahn, who, by the way, played 2 games in his career at first base. Neither of them were for the Rangers. At second base, I have a name I've used a couple times, Jerry Hairston Jr. At third base, noted San Diego Padre, Phil Nevin. At shortstop, I have Minnie Manuso. In left field, I have a guy, you might have heard of him. His name is Sammy Sosa. You know, everyone thinks of Sammy Sosa, the Texas Ranger. That's the first thing. When I hear the name Sammy Sosa, I think Texas Ranger. Definitely not his career as a Chicago Cub at all. At center field, Kenny Lofton. In right field, Vladimir Guerrero. My DH I have is Harold Baines. And my other 3 pitchers I have are Fergie Jenkins, Goose Gossage, and Emmanuel Clase, who was a rookie for the Rangers. We got a lot of heat for not using Goose Gossage yet in this series, by the way. Because people were kind of mad that you didn't use him for the Yankees and I didn't use him for the Padres. But I had just other pitchers I could have used. But who was the name you thought I was confused or I was impressed by that we haven't used yet?
I was going to throw Greg Zahn in there.
Oh, 100%. Greg Zahn was one of my favorite players in MVP Baseball 05. Not because he was necessarily one of the best players. He was very good at baseball. But he had just a great name. And I literally learned that Guerrero and Sosa played for the Rangers at any point in their career from this. I seriously do not remember either of them playing for the Texas Rangers. So, I obviously was debating you with the whole everyone thinks about Sammy Sosa, the Texas Ranger. Are there any players you can think of off the top of your head, Alex, that I missed from Rangers? Like, again, kind of the keeping with the theme.
Man, I think a lot of like. I think at least for me, it's like
There were a ton of pitchers.
Bartolo.
Yeah, I didn't use Bartolo because I actually remember him playing for the Rangers. Number one, and number two, there were just so many good pitchers. When I was going through the list, I was like, Bartolo's good, but I'd rather have actual relievers because we really don't use relievers very often in these lists. So I had two relievers.
I'll give you one more too.
I was like, Fergie Jenkins and Gaylord Perry, just I thought were better names than Bartolo. Although Bartolo is of course like kind of a cult hero.
Can I give you one more?
Yeah, of course.
Koji Uehara.
Oh, I did want to use Koji. And the only name that I was shocked you didn't use was someone I used. And it's the same thing. Both these teams just have a plethora of pitchers. You didn't use Kurt Schilling.
See, I wanted to, but then I kind of I already had most of my pitchers filled up, but I felt like Don Larson for kind of like the factor of the Colt 45.
No, I think that's way cooler, and it's like, hey, we're trying to encompass the whole thing. I'm pretty sure Fergie Jenkins actually, when I was looking up, I think he might have been a Washington National, or Minnie Manuso might have been. One of them I know was a Washington National. Or not Washington National, Washington Senator.
Yes, Senator.
Sorry. Brain fart. But.
Yo, well, actually, let's see if you can get this right.
Okay.
What year did Minnie Minoso retire?
1985.
You were close. It was 1980. How old was he?
Well, so he played for the Washington Senator. Again, I believe he was the Washington Senator, which would have been like 63-ish. Yep. So assuming he was 18 at that time, which I don't think he was, I'm going to guess he was like 45.
All right, so I'm going to back you up. So in 1946, made his rookie debut at the age of 22.
Okay, so if he was 22 and 46... 56, he's 32. 76, he's 42. 86, he would have been 52. Obviously, he retired before that, 4 years prior, so he's 48. That's insane.
No.
49?
I have his baseball reference pulled up right here, right?
So is he 47 or 49? Because I swear I did math correctly.
He was 56. I have it right here.
In 86, he retired
in 1980 at 56.
Oh, because you know what? I skipped 10 years. Look at that. This is why we have... I also didn't do math correctly.
He resumed he only played 5 games after the age of 50 anyway, so...
Yeah. I mean, that's insane. I do math all day, every day. So that's kind of bad that I did math wrong, but I get choice. That's the only good news. I get choice on this one.
It's kind of insane that 56 years old and you're still swinging.
Yeah, I know. That's insane that he was 56. I can't believe he was that old. That's insane. I hope that I can walk at 56 years old. All right.
There you go, pal.
So we will be running the Brewers and Seattle Mariners. Obviously, the Brewers get access to the Brewers, get access to the Seattle Pilots, and for that reason and that reason only, I will take the Milwaukee Brewers. and you can have the Seattle Mariners for your obscure next team, which, again, there will be no podcast next week or the week following, so it'll be 2 weeks to our next one. Being
3.
Yeah, there will be a
2nd
2-week
of
gap.
October.
So it'll be the 2nd of October will be the next one, where we will have our Brewers and Mariners teams, which, by the way, they both could be pretty fire squads. I feel like there's a lot of guys for both of them.
And we'll have the YouTube cut for this out in the interim at some point, as well as some other odds and ends we didn't get out this week.
Yeah,
I burnt out last week posting every day.
You're good. Don't worry about it. I'm confident. As I crush my.
Let's talk about the ayahuasca adventure.
Yeah, please enlighten me about AA Ron Rodgers.
My sanity on the Steelers is going to go week to week, depending on how this man does, because I know the defense will actually figure itself out at some point, hopefully. I mean, I was actually impressed with how he played, though, from just watching the highlights.
So we caught the end of the game. So obviously out here in Cincinnati, it was Bengals Browns. Watched the end of that, then we threw on Paramount Plus to pull the CBS feed, and it was, or CBS, not CBS, and it was the Packers game, not the Packers, the Steelers Jets, right? Yeah, that's who they played. It was the Steelers game regardless, and I was watching it, and I was like, wow, Aaron Rodgers looks like good. Which I shouldn't have been shocked, because I literally told you when he signed that this is going to be a good signing for the Steelers.
I mean, we've been plagued with terrible quarterback play really since Roethlisberger got Tommy John. Is it the tail end of his time wasn't really anything to bring home, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it was like he was on his way anyway, so it's like, is that weird? Like the transition that you go from having a quarterback like that to figure out who's next, like it was gonna happen anyway.
Oh no, I agree. I think having
ours is just prolonged with kind of whatever else is kind of happened in between.
I think having the franchise quarterback, having your franchise quarterback just like disappear like that is tough for anyone. And I'm not shitting on the Steelers for that. That's just like a fact. You've had the same guy for so long, you don't think about it. Yeah, the Patriots are currently going through it, honestly. I think they might have finally found their guy. But, and again, I'm a Browns fan. We haven't had a solid quarterback since Baker. And I'm pissed. I'm still pissed to this day. They didn't just let Baker run his 5th year. Don't trade him. Run the 5th year. Let him walk. Because honestly, right now, I think they would have been in a better spot if they had run that route a couple years ago. But I'm not in management. I don't make those decisions. I'm not in the NFL. I don't make those decisions. I'm just a kid that yells on the internet sometimes.
I mean, I think through week 1, this will probably go after. This is going to go out after week 2, but you know they did play the Jets, a game they should have won anyway, realistically.
Yeah, but still.
As I said, it's going to be a week-to-week thing because they have Seattle this week, right?
That'll be a test.
Home against Seattle. Yeah. I'm just pulling up the schedule just for sake of extending this. Yeah, so Seattle at home, Patriots down the road from where I'm sitting right now.
Mm-hmm.
Then Vikings in Ireland.
Such an obscure place to play.
Bye week.
That's good. At least they get their bye week.
They always get the early bye too, which I don't really like.
That could be tough.
Then they play some team in Cleveland from Cleveland apparently after that.
Yes.
Easy win.
No.
Boston, the Skyline Bowl, yet again.
I'm just saying, what happened in that playoff game a couple years ago?
It's fine.
Just remind me.
Just remember, what have you done since that game, though?
Really nothing, but that's okay.
Exactly my point, buddy.
Here's the thing.
But, like...
I saw a playoff game, and I saw a playoff win from the Browns. That was the first time since, like, 2002 they had done that. So, let's just... I'm going to ride that high for a couple more years. Hopefully I don't have to, but if I have to, I will.
But now it's like, after 1 week, all I've seen on Twitter and just through the meme cycle is just Aaron Rodgers versus the Packers in the Super Bowl would feed generations. I'm just like, it's just that team. This team's nowhere near that either. So it's like,
yeah.
I'd love if they made a run, but like they're not making a run in this AFC.
No, I think we've established. I think the AFC North is such a tough conference that, like, I'm still confident in the Browns. Like, I think they could still have a good year. The kicker was the worst part of their game against the Bengals, which, for better or worse, led to the loss. Or was contributing to the loss, because whenever you're missing points, you're contributing to potentially losing. But I won't lie, if I'd be much happier if Cleveland was a 1-0 team right now than being an 0-1 team, especially
you guys were not out of that either. So it's like
Cleveland is the only 0-1 team in the division. Granted, half the division is 0-1. That it was a conference game.
It was a division game, yeah.
Yeah, division game rather. Because the Ravens lost to the Bills in a wild game, and then your Steelers beat the Jets, and then obviously the Bengals beat the Browns, and that was the 4. So Cleveland needs to win this week, but it probably won't happen. I hope it does. I hope my prediction of 10 wins for the Browns is still possible. And
the lowest. Yeah.
It would be great if they go from 0-1 to winning the division. That'd be fantastic. Now, I don't think 10 wins the division, but
no.
I think you have to be a 12 or 13 win team in this division to win it. Just because the way it is.
And this is the way the back end of the season is going to be for how this division plays out. It's always going to be like...
and it's going to come down to the last 3-4 weeks of the season like it does every year. Or at least it feels like it does every year.
I mean, so for the Steelers, that'd be the last 3 are the Lions, the Browns, and the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Two of those games are on the road.
All right. Is the Browns one on the road?
Yeah, that's the act. Yeah, because we play you guys coming out of the bye at home. But you guys have the Bills, us, and the Bengals.
Yep, and the last game is here down in Cincinnati.
You're gonna field passes for that, right?
No, I'll be at work.
That's fine. You can skip work.
No.
It's a flex game, so they don't even know what day it's gonna be yet.
If they play on the Saturday, that is one of our games. So I'm hoping that it doesn't get flexed and it stays on Sunday. Everyone in my office is hoping that. I won't lie.
Team outing, I guess, right?
Just because we don't want to have to. I don't want to have to compete with the team a half mile away from me. Like, that's just no fun. Also, traffic downtown is insane. When any 2 of the 4 stadiums downtown, and I'm counting FCC even though they're not really downtown. When any 2 of the 4 play at the same time, because they're all pretty close. Obviously, Browns, Bengals, and the arena are literally within a half mile of each other, with the arena and the Reds sharing a concourse. But Downtown does get nuts. Now, the biggest event I've been to downtown is Reds opening day. I won't lie. It's the biggest event. It's the most fun event that I've been to downtown. And I'm looking forward to entering the Reds lottery here in a couple months so that I can hopefully get tickets to opening day that way. Because I'm big fan of going to opening day. Also, it's with the Red Sox, so that'll be cool.
You know what's insane?
What?
This is probably the most Browns quote I've seen all day.
What is it?
Is that Browns safety Grant Delpit says it's not hard to tackle Derrick Henry.
So, ready? I'll tell you. I fundamentally agree. I don't think it's hard to tackle anyone. I think it's hard to stop Derrick Henry. I think tackling him is objectively easy. Because tackling is just, that's what we call that act of attempting to wrap him up, is tackling. Actually getting him down, I think, is difficult. Now, if I was a defensive player for the Cleveland Browns or literally any team, I'd be like, oh, it's not hard to tackle him. Because you want to show a confidence. I think that's part of it. But
yeah, that is a shot of confidence.
Yeah. Again, I think objectively the act of tackling someone is easy. Tackling them and getting them down is objectively difficult. Because you can wrap.
Especially when linebacker, the 4.4 40.
Yeah.
Playing running back.
Yeah. No, he's objectively difficult to actually get down. Now again, for players in the NFL, it's probably a lot easier than average Joe who sits at a desk all day. I might be able to tackle Derrick Henry. I won't get him down. But I may be able to perform a tackle on Derrick Henry if I'm in the right spot at the right time. And so that's kind of what my thought on it was. It's not so much actually getting him down is difficult, but I think the act of tackling is not. But again, I'm glad to see that they're like, it's only 1 week, whatever. Like, let's move on. Look at the future, and we'll do what we can do.
Yeah.
That's how it's got to be. It's got to be that next man up mentality and / who's next mentality. So let's transition a little bit here, Alex.
I'm gonna go puck talk and then.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about NHL 26. Obviously, early access ends at noon tomorrow, the 12th of September. I pre-ordered the highest edition of the game. I play a lot of NHL. I love hockey, so of course I'm going to buy that game. I'm going to play the shit out of it. I'm enjoying it. I haven't played a single game online yet. I do have my hot team rolling. Haven't spent any of the EA fun bucks, as one streamer I know calls them. And I've liked it. They added this Cup Chase mode, which is like MLB shows mini seasons. You play 18 regular season games, 2 games against each of the 8 created teams that they add. And then there's a top 4 teams make the playoffs. The playoffs are 2 best-of-3 series. And then you get rewards based on difficulty you played and did you make the playoffs? Did you win the cup? And did you go perfect, not lose a single game? The only problem I've had with the game is it's crashed a couple times on me, which is fine, whatever. It seems to be anything with every Xbox game ever. It crashes a lot of it, especially near the beginning of its cycle. Especially on the Xbox Series X platform in general, I've noticed. This newest platform of Xbox, I've noticed over the 5 years I've had an Xbox, that games get a little crashy. But I like
that. Is how, at least not how things go to the digital right away.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that's just kind of your drawback with it, I guess. If you want to call it a drawback, is that no, it's not going to be a fully. for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
finished product, but it's still gonna. But
Yeah, that's what they
that's
do
how you
one year
realize
develop
that's how
cycle
you find
does.
other issues is when you have your player base actually have it on their system. Like that's how you're gonna find
Oh,
out.
100%. And I hate to say that, but you're right. I played a little bit. I played a little bit of Be a Pro, both as a goalie and as a skater. I like the new kind of story interviews. The way it's set up, where it's like
Like a draft interview, or
so it starts. Definitely not spoiling things. There've been so many YouTube videos at this point. So you start. You obviously make your guy, whatever. Pick skater or goalie, customize your gear, whatever, and then you go to the medal round of the World Juniors is the first press conference you do, and it's how do you feel about representing your country at the World Juniors, um, and then kind of what type of player are you, what position are you, that sort of stuff. Specifically on the skater side, on the goalie side, it asks like what your goalie skills are, kind of sets up your X factors and or your first X factor, um, and everything, and then you play the first medal game. Depending on how you do, you either play in the bronze medal or gold medal game. In both my beer pros, at my skater one, we lost the preliminary game and then won the bronze. In my goalie one, we won the first medal round game and then lost to I think it was Sweden um, in the final. So I had silver, and then both of mine I picked to play in the CHL, which is the Canadian Junior Hockey League. So one guy I picked to go OHL, and I forget what team I picked for them. I think it was the new team that's going to be in Newfoundland. I'm sorry, that's the QMJHL. Which I don't know if they've changed the name of the Q or what the letters mean. I know they left the letters the same. It used to be the Quebec Major Junior League. That's what QMJL was. I believe they're changing that though. And then the other one, I picked the Tri-City Americans. This was for my goaltender, and out of the WHL because I personally have an affinity for that team. I just think they have a cool logo, cool jersey set. So I did that, and I've been my goalie one. I've played enough that I got drafted somewhere like in the like 115th. Which after you finish up the Memorial Cup, again, I went Canadian Juniors side. You do another press conference that kind of is also kind of your pre-draft interviews. So, adjusts your draft stock and everything. I've liked it so far. I've played a couple hours of it, of Be a Pro, and I think I've played as much Be a Pro this year than I have over the last 3 games. Just because they changed it up enough that I'm actually like excited to play it, if that makes sense.
They're also kind of following the model of 2K Madden in the show now, where that's just kind of the regular. That's kind of how all that stuff's more narrative driven.
I like the narrative driven a little bit, and I like that they also brought back the thing I really like with my goalie. I intentionally flopped in my preseason games, and I was drafted by the Blues, so their AHL affiliate is in Springfield. So my guy plays for the Springfield Thunderbirds right now. Just because I wanted to see A, how easy was it to get dropped to the AHL, and B, what was that kind of like running that course. So I was interested to say the least.
Yeah.
About that, and I think it's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to playing more of it. I'll try to play more of it while I watch the NFL game tonight, honestly. But and then Hut every year I do a theme team the last 3 seasons, including this season. The last couple I've done an NCAA team, so every single player from my top line to my backup goaltender, every single one has to have played for a school in the NCAA. I don't care if it's D1, D2, D3. They just have to have played. It's cool because obviously them having women in the game, the last couple years, it's so much easier because almost every single woman that plays professional hockey has played at a college. So it makes it a lot easier to build a team. So I finished from the 2 preseason sets. I took from the Fresh Ice program that ends tomorrow and the Chell Week program. Brock Farber of the Minnesota Wild, he played at a college. Jacob Trouba and Jacob Slavin all played college hockey. So 3 of my 6 defensemen are MSPs, as it were. And then I have Chris Chelios as well, who also played college hockey. So I'm amped. This year I actually put it up to a vote because I know one of the better defensemen in the NHL, Mackenzie Weegar, played here in Cincinnati in the ECHL, so I put it on a Twitter poll, or I guess an X.com poll is what it would be now, and it tied, so I went with NCAA because tie goes to the previous theme when I do things like that. So I'll definitely be occasionally bringing my full lineup, and I'll give you all the schools and everything where they played. Content that'll wind up on my YouTube, and maybe we'll put it on this one's as well. Will be a game where every single time the cards appear for my team, it'll be their college headshot or something, and it'll be wrapped in the college colors to try to match the styles. But that'll be a lot of work, but I think it'll be fun for a video, especially near the end of the cycle during Frozen 4 time in March specifically. So that's something I'm thinking about, and I know I pitched this idea to you 2 years ago at this point. I asked you if you'd help me out with it, so
yeah, we can do that.
Good news, I use a lot of the same players every year, so some of the images might be easy, and we can make our own card theme, I guess, in theory, because it's going to be completely custom. But yeah,
there you go. And actually,
I guess we're into the main event of the evening, Alex.
Yeah.
How well do I know?
So we're going to continue the D3 New England College Conference trend here with the NEWMAC women's basketball slate from the 06-07 season.
Can you tell me how many schools it was specifically for my 4th strike?
13.
13.
There is a catch here.
What is the catch?
There are some that have played under 10 games, but I think part of that was because of the ever so popular exploratory period within collegiate athletics, specifically at this level.
Okay. So, the hint you gave me, the biggest hint you gave me, is women's basketball. And
also, there is one more, but I'll wait to see if you don't need it or not.
The other hint you gave me is 06-07. So I'm going to start by naming colleges in Massachusetts that were women's only colleges in 06 and 07. You have Smith College, you have Wellesley College,
Yep.
And you have Mount Holyoke.
Yep.
So I have 3 out of 13 off the rip. I want to say WPI was there at the time.
Yep.
Is Clark a NEWMAC school? Or / was? Okay. So that's 5. I know Springfield is now. So I'll guess Springfield.
Yep.
Okay, 6. Emerson College, if they play sports.
Confirmed.
So that's 7. That's half.
Oh, right, yeah.
This is where it gets hard. Now I have to think of, schools I haven't thought about in, almost 10 years.
Do you want the hint now, or do you want to wait?
Hit me with the hint.
There is one more school on this list that I'm technically affiliated, that have been affiliated with.
You have been okay. Coast Guard.
Yep,
Okay, that helped, but didn't help. Babson.
yep. Is that 9?
I think so.
I lost count. I think you're right. Yeah. Yep, you're at 9.
I'm at 9. All right, so there's 4 more. Wheaton.
Yep.
Salve Regina.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I know that they're a newer NEWMAC school. So that's one
Yeah,
S.
I'm gonna confirm that really quick. I saw them for something else, but I don't know if they.
I know that they were a CCC school, but I don't know what their affiliation was for what on that front.
Yeah, Selva is more recent, but they're on there.
Okay. MIT.
The bottom of the barrel. Yep.
Hey, you have to be shitty to get better.
More known for nerdy endeavors, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was thinking about D3 schools that were gonna be good at basketball, MIT would be pretty low on that list.
All right. So here's that catch I was talking about. The last 2 schools you need to nail are in there. I'm assuming it was an exploratory. They weren't because they have a smaller number of games.
Okay. Can I get the states of both schools?
One of them is in Mass, and the other one, to my knowledge, is in Vermont.
Is Vermont Castleton?
It's not.
Castleton seems to be just like whenever I need to
That's a
obscure.
valid. That is a very
Vermont
valid
school.
guess, but that's like. That's the first one of the first lower level Vermont schools that comes to mind, right?
Yeah, no, I only know 2 colleges in Vermont, or well, 3. But I don't want to waste my other strike yet. I want to see it. Oh, actually, I have 2 more strikes.
Yeah.
So there's a Massachusetts school.
Mm.
I'm going to break Massachusetts into 3 parts. It's in Eastern, Central, or Western Mass.
I'm gonna go Eastern based on where I think it is. Yeah.
Where you think it is? That's such a bad. That's so disappointing. Oh God.
Okay. No. Yep. Okay. We're smart. Okay. It is the one I am thinking of. Okay.
God, Massachusetts, Eastern Mass. Let's see.
I'm not specifying by town or nothing like that.
That's honestly, I was hoping you were gonna tell me like Central Mass, because I'd be like, all right, let me just name Worcester colleges that I haven't named yet. By the way, 495 is the border of Eastern Mass and Central Mass.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Where I live is the
where I grew up. Yeah. Eastern Mass College. That's not Babson. That's not. It can't be Bentley. Bentley's D2 for everything but hockey. Merrimack's D1 2. Stonehill is technically D1, but are they one of those weird programs that's like it's not Tufts. Because you would have known, because you would have immediately said it's Eastern Mass if it was Tufts. I want you to know I feel really stupid right now.
Especially when you're going to tell me to tell you.
I have a Vermont school and an Eastern Mass school. I guess I'm gonna have to throw my flyer on the only other school in Vermont I know, and that's Champlain College.
It is not Champlain College.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give me that. Damn. I think I'm gonna strike out too short, which sucks. You know what? We'll throw it. Gordon.
So you have struck out, unfortunately.
What were the two schools?
So the Vermont school was Norwich, the military,
I should have known that. I had a friend that went to Norwich.
and then the other mass school was Regis in Weston.
Oh, I should have known that. I literally.
So what got
Regis
tricky
was an all girls school at the time too, and I completely.
So what got tricky there was that both of them played one game in the NEWMAC, and they counted it towards that. But
So I want you to know I'm more mad about Regis than about Norwich.
Norwich is as I said, the exploratory period is where things get kind of tricky when you're in that.
Honestly, though, 11 for 13 is not bad. I think I'm happy with 11 for 13. And in 3 weeks, sir. So 11 out of 13. 9 out of 163. You know what? I passed. I got an 85 for with rounding. And it's 2006-7. In 3 weeks, you will have the NE10, the only Division II hockey conference for men's hockey.
All right.
So. And I promise you, it'll be pretty easy because there's not a lot of Division II college hockey schools. So.
No, but I did get the uniform for our buddy, so I know how I'm exactly looking for. So.
Did he send it to me as well?
I don't think he did. No, unless you got a snap from him in the last couple minutes.
I have not. I don't think. No, I have not.
He's got a fanny pack, so that's the key identifier.
All right. We'll keep that up here. On that note, Alex, any last words before we send off into the sunset for the week, for a couple weeks?
Yeah, so last week's pod is going to drop tomorrow morning. So if you missed that one, the edited version will drop in tomorrow morning. I'll probably drop the obscure lineup stuff with maybe a couple other reels throughout the week next week, and then I'll drop the edited version of this pod at the end. It's kind of going into the second week off, so we might not have any content that second week off.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe
we'll see if we can cut something.
I mean, worst case, compilation of all of our obscure teams to date. We could drop that.
Yeah.
And then just kind of keep editing that video every week on, or every couple weeks on. Just add in.
I'll probably do everything to now and then the end. Kind of do all of them.
Especially once we get into this format, though, you can use that center block that we have with just our show's logo. You can just throw the cards up on that. That should be pretty easy editing for you.
Oh yeah.
But that'd be good.
All right, now I'm gonna go watch some Thursday Night Football.
All right.
Good night, buddy.
As we say, go commies.
Whoop, whoop.